A nonprofit's push to open Rockford's first senior center in more than a decade faces a delay. Some on City Council say the extra time is necessary, while others argue it could threaten the project. A vote to try on that senior center along East State Street failed in Rockford City Council committee. WIFR's Nathaniel Langley learns what's behind the layover.
Daniel, Winnebago County lost its sole space for seniors in a fire more than a decade ago. Despite most council members agreeing it's time for a new facility, the debate to accomplish that persists.
The sooner our funding is approved, the sooner we start this process.
The Northwestern Illinois Area Agency on Aging believes in reinventing the senior center, starting in Rockford.
We can offer opportunities to reduce social isolation by gatherings and coffee hour.
The nonprofit eyes moving into the former River Valley Community Church near East State Street. The city would provide $300,000 for the project.
Without this funding, we can't move forward with the project.
At City Council's Planning and Development Committee,
Item 1 is approval for the
Councilmember Gina Meeks defended delaying a vote on the center, pausing its initial vote until January 26th.
My residents want this. This isn't something that they don't want. They just want to make sure that it is a program that has the most potential for everyone to benefit from.
But Councilmember Mark Bonney pressed his peers to overturn the layover.
This isn't really about getting more questions about answered. This is really more politics and game playing.
Bonney also shared a map detailing the center would surround one of the highest concentrations of senior households living below the poverty line.
From a population center standpoint, this makes sense.
First Midwest Group will reportedly save NIA nearly $2 million in 10 years with its lease offer.
That is a private partnership that would be passed up.
But in a 2-3 decision, the overturn failed. The project has yet to see its first committee vote.
I do want to see it get over the finish line. I just want it to be the best proposal for the city.
The city's $300,000 would be split across 3 years. Public funds would support the establishment and then operations.
As of now, the center will see its first vote on January 26, more than a month after it was introduced. NIAAA says if this East State Street facility is successful, it could open another on the city's west side.